Another wake session, another strife and another life, and they blame it on depression. Another wife is the wrong or right, and they claim me under pressure. Another tripe and a suicide, we apply the same methods. It's like we never learn a lesson. We try to lie to make it better. Then everybody scrambling now, trying to figure out what to stress her. Why didn't he or she reach out where the world wasn't helping? Why couldn't he find just a peace of mind, let the world get the best of him? They call it mental health in this. It's so weird when it comes to depression and suicide. These self-help sort of gurus try to apply the same method with a one-size-fits-all, and it never works. What the hell is this? Another fool shot up a school and we know the cat was sick. And all these dudes want to blame the tool, that's stupid as it gets. Another crew on the teletube blaming gun ownership. You can miss me with that miss, cause I ain't never shot a man. And the only time I would lay him down, he aggressing on my fam. And you like to make it much harder for me to protect all my land. Cry crocodile tears so you can just feel good at grandstand. Bro, you stupid in a trance. No matter how much you get to sobbing on TV, every single gun law is an infringement. Period. Look, I ain't just saying this just to say this. The state is a criminal, crooked organization. So you look like a buffoon thinking that you can save this. Looking to Big Daddy government every time dismay hits. These fools done killed 250 million men and women and children, all due to their ill sins over the last century. So why would I fiddle with them? This crap is not meant for me. Let that power get reeled in. They act like I can't govern myself, so they keep running for help, begging the state to monitor wealth, and you'll get thrown in a cell. Deviate, they throw you in jail. Maybe you the one that's crazy with that bad mental health. So I think you really should back up. Man can't govern himself but can rule over everyone else. That don't even add up. And every time I'm bringing this up to you, you get mad, huh? But that's the reason I remain fearless and pick this pad up. This ain't a gimmick, this ain't a joke. State agents of it is really out there ruining people's lives, and that's the source of a lot of people's problems.
No threat to a Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to a Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand.
Drug seized include heroin, cocaine, marijuana, and assorted pills. Police also found drug paraphernalia. The bust netted 3 handguns, 2 rifles, and 2 sawed-off shotguns. Police estimate this drug operation took in about $2,000 a day, or $750,000 a year. Those arrested face a variety of charges, including drug possession, conspiracy to distribute drugs, and weapons violations. More arrests are expected. City police are still searching for at least a half dozen more suspects.
Hey, what up, what up, what up? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Ken and Hotep back at it again. I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. I'll tell you, I had a busy one. I'll tell you that much. Happy y'all could join me. We got a special one today. We got our special guest, Bailey, in the building. I'm going to introduce y'all to her in a second. But first, let's get to the chat real quick. Who we got in here? Steph Colonel, salute. What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? What's up? Kid Gravity, what's going on, bro? Gotta have you back on soon. Sauce the Prophet, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm happy you guys could make it. Bruce G, you got a notification? I feel special now, bro. I mean, Anyway, we about to get into it. I'm sure more people will come pouring in as YouTube decides to let them know that I am live. Today's show is brought to you by my custom Glock 19. You guys, see, I'm trying to make a tradition here. This is my custom Glock 19. Customized by yours truly, Canon Hotep. Got a standard Glock trigger. Got a Vortex Venom optic. See that gold barrel? That gold barrel sexy, ain't it? Gold barrel is sexy. You see that with the fluted? Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Y'all see that fluted barrel? See the fluted barrel? Damn. Threaded barrel. I did have a muzzle brake on the front of it, not because I can't handle the recoil, because I wanted to make this into what was called a rolling special. I took it off because rolling special really only operates with anything 147 grain and up. But I digress. Fantastic gun. Built it myself. So, custom Glock 19. Oh yeah, you know what we gotta do. Let's see that trigger. Get that reset. A little bit of take up. Boom. One more time. Get it. I tell you. They don't call me Canon Hotel for nothing. Anyway. Keep a standard Glock 17 magazine inside this one. So 9mm. Such a fun gun. Brandon O'Neill, yeah, compensator. Just because I wanted a rolling special, bro. Wanted me a rolling special. I took the comp off because the rolling special only run with a certain grain of bullet, which is 147 grain. So when I take it to the range, I'm only shooting 119 target. You know what I mean? So you know how I go. Just a standard Glock trigger. Just a standard Glock trigger. I'm a fan of OEM triggers for the most part, unless my gun comes with something special when I buy it. I'm a fan of the OEM triggers. You know what I mean? I don't mind a little 7-8 pound pull. I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna bring in our guest. Everybody, please welcome to Canon Speaks, Miss Bailey. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. It's such short.
Not a problem. Not a problem. We're happy to have you here. So yesterday, before I started the show, Bailey was like, "Hey, yo, I need to get in on this topic." He feels strongly about this topic. So I was like, "Hey, we're gonna bring you on tomorrow. Let's get it." You know what I mean? So, man, it seems like women's sports are going by the wayside right now.
Yeah, by the wayside. I know a lot of people probably weren't even paying attention paying a lot of attention to them prior to this, but that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, with everything else that's been happening, I would say within the last 2 years, the point is the precedent these type of issues are setting. You know what I mean? Like where we're going as a country, as a society, if foolish things like this are allowed to continue.
Right.
Without without like the ability to speak out against it. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like if, a biological woman speaks out against it, they act like you're not, you're against feminism. You know what I mean? Like you're against all women if you speak out against, what most of us would say is common sense. You know what I mean? You can think what you want to think you are all day long, but, the laws of nature exist. You know what I mean? Right. Like for example, with this Leah Thomas thing, she's about 7 feet tall.
About 7.
You know what I mean? Wingspan like Dirk Nowitzki, you know what I mean? And lung capacity like Aquaman, you know what I mean? And right. Muscle fibers that that women don't have. And even though they're trying to say that this person's on, testosterone suppressing drugs, it don't matter. You still had, I don't know how old they are, 20 years of an advantage of being a male. And now all of a sudden, because you can't cut it, in my opinion, because you can't cut it in men's sports, you decided to grow a ponytail and change your name.
Right.
How you feel about that situation?
I feel so. First of all, like you said, when you have testosterone blockers, people are neglecting to even mention the body, just the wingspan, the chest, the all the parts of a body that just make you an inherent great swimmer.
Right.
So my ex-husband, for example, he was a swimmer. He got a scholarship for swimming.
Okay.
Broad shoulders, big chest, long arms, and he was just great at swimming. Leah has that.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if at this point, when you've already gone through puberty, by the way, if you now stop with testosterone, you have the makeup already.
Right.
You already said earlier, you have the lung capacity to swim well, a better swimmer, just naturally. And but I think the issue with this is just the blatant, just like the fact that I feel like I'm in the twilight zone, like the fact that as a biological woman, I feel like I'm being pushed out my own space. And there's a lot of things I'm passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, as you can see, I'm black. That's one thing. But this is another thing. Like, I'm a woman, and it's not easy to be a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, just for someone else to come in and just be like, you're a bleeder, or you're a person that can have a baby,
Right.
a birther. Like, you're coming to my space. It's telling me what I am now.
Right. They giving you your own pronouns and descriptions and stuff like that. But then at the same time, when you use the scientific terms we've been using forever, you know what I mean? We're bigots, or we're anti-LGBTQ and all this other bullshit, but like, no, like I tell people all the time, like, and I said it last night on my stream, like, I used to be an Olympic weightlifter, right? Like, I did okay. I'm not like, Dmitry Klokov and none of those guys. Right. I was pretty strong, but I knew, goddamn, I wasn't strong enough to cut it with those guys in the Olympics, right? But you don't see me growing a ponytail and changing my name to Candy. You know what I mean? Trying to go compete in Olympic weightlifting and the women's divisions just because I can beat them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
let me preface this with saying, I keep my personal thoughts to myself about anybody's personal choices with their life. Because this is not their walk's not my walk. So I have nothing against if a man wants to become a woman and you can call yourself an antelope for all I care.
Right.
That's your personal business.
Right.
But I think what a lot of people are neglecting to, and the funny thing is, I don't even think they're neglecting to realize. I think they're purposely doing it for whatever reason. That's another story. But like, to tell me that I now have to go against my common sense and what we've been told for years, for years, and just what we know naturally. Like, I know we've all heard this. If I died today, or if you and I both died today together in the desert, and someone found us 20 years later, they would know you were a man and I was a woman.
Facts.
They don't know what my brain thought. They don't know what I identified as or anything.
Right.
They don't know. That's the discussion that needs to be had when it comes to sports. Sports should be sex-based, not gender-based, and that's kind of the whole point of it all.
Right.
Like, and you never see, like, for example, like, I believe there's in a USA soccer player, a woman who's trans, who identifies as a man, but still plays on the women's soccer team. You will never see a woman that turns into a man or transitions to a man. You will never see them in sports because they know they would not cut it.
Right.
But you always see the opposite.
Yeah.
And also, you never see trans men coming into biological men's spaces and changing the game and then saying, "Oh no, well, if you can't get with it, even though we're less than 1% of the population, then you're a bigot and you're transphobic."
Right. Right.
Like, we're really changing everything we've ever known and felt for less than 1% of the population. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and then dare not speak out about it. Like, as a biological woman, I can't even speak in my own space anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You can't, and that's the sad part, right? Because now, feminists all over the world was voting and rallying and protesting for equal rights. You know what I mean?
Right.
Only to have it co-opted by, the trans community. You know what I mean? It's like completely co-opted. Now it's almost like you guys, for lack of a better term, to march yourselves right off the cliff. You done voted yourselves right out of existence. You done protest yourselves right out of existence. You had, like, what's the lady that made what is it? Harry Potter?
Oh yeah. Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling comes out and she speaks out against, what's going on as far as, like, I guess she said something about women's sports and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, she's a TERF or whatever the hell that means. I don't know. It's like something exclusionary feminist or something like that.
This is why I've never been a feminist. I've never been a feminist. I've never. I believe in gender roles. I believe men should open the door. I believe men should, protect. I believe women have a place, and that's just how it is. I've never understood why women want to do what men do. I will never want to be an electrician or a carpenter. I would never want to do that. I hate manual labor.
Yeah, hey, I feel you.
But it's like I said, to me, it's not even a point of trans. I don't be you. Like, I don't care if that's what you need to feel to do. That's fine. I just hate the fact that people are conflating the two. You can identify with anything in the world, but can't deny that you have a biological advantage. Over numbers tell you that. Like, now that's another thing. Now we're arguing. I'm going to start arguing numbers in the next 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Sauce the prophet. Fairly, our parents programmed us men for getting pregnant when Wanda and Cosmo had a child, and Cosmo was the one that got pregnant. He took it all the way back to the Nickelodeon show. I feel that's crazy though. I forgot all about that. Kid Gravity, the glitches, then to bring most men and women back together. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Brian Dotson, what's up, Brian? My preferred pronouns are he, him, and Batman. You sound like my son. Kid Gravity Braun, real women have got the yeah, facts. You know what I mean? Brian, women to men trans should be allowed in men's boxing. I pay for all those matches. Come on, bro. That ain't happening. That's what she just said. Like, you don't see that. You
never see a trans man in male sport. You never see it.
Right. They in it for the lifestyle. They ain't in it for the hardships.
Right. Sports should definitely be sex-based. And a lot of people, because people do bring up a good point. Okay, no one, like I said earlier, no one really cares about women's sports. Like, for example, I live in Seattle. I probably have been to 2 Storm games in my life, and I grew up playing basketball. So it's not. I don't really kick like that. But it's just kind of like I said, like, if we're gonna do this, everything's gonna be like numbers will be challenging.
Right.
Like, I promise you. If this is on YouTube in 2 years or 3 years, 2 + 2 won't even be 4 in a couple of years.
Bailey Ben told you. Check it, Maticus. Trans exclusionary radical feminist. That's what TERF stands for. Exclusionary radical feminist. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Oh, Jabari is in the building. What up?
You got Adele's booty. Just saying, they got mad at her for saying I'm proud to be a woman, and she's a woman. They got mad at her because they said that was transphobic to say that she was proud to be a woman. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, man. I swear, sometimes I think we're in like a big ass game of Half-Life. There's some game these people play where we can be whatever you want to be in that game. But like, I feel like that's what they're trying to bring out nowadays. I don't know. It's like the simulation is broken.
And Cannon, do you see how fast it's happening?
Oh, it's happening quick.
It's weird. What's your I haven't been watching you long, but so like, what's your like political ideology or?
I'm politically homeless.
Oh, okay.
I used to be a Democrat, up until the 2016 election when I started paying it. Actually, I'm sorry, up until after the 2012 election. So once I'm sitting there, I voted. I voted for Obama twice. First time he disappointed me. Second time, he couldn't get nothing through because he wanted to get another term. Oh, he going ham in his second term. He ain't do shit. So then I'm like, all right, it's time to start paying attention now. So I started paying attention to politics. I started watching it. When you do IT, I was doing IT at the time. You got a lot of free time on your hands. I don't really be doing nothing, waiting for people's computers to break. You know what I mean? So I'll be watching YouTube and watching, what's going on. And I could see the sham. I could see what was happening. They had already selected Hillary before everything started. And you could see it in everything they did. So like once 2012, when Obama got into office, I just before then I read a book called Behold a Pale Horse, right, by Bill Cooper. I suggest everybody read this book. This is like Red Pill 101, right? So I started seeing a lot of the things, and this book was written in 1989, and everything that he was predicting in the book, or that he's putting out in the book, started happening around like 2008, right? Up until now, a lot of the stuff that's in the book now is starting to happen. So you see them demonizing, quote unquote, patriots, right? So in this book, there's a chapter 6. I'll never forget this chapter because it's about FEMA. right? So at the end of the chapter, he had receipts in there. Like basically he had like transcripts. And in one of the transcripts, it said it's going to come a time where the people are told the greatest threat to the United States is its own patriots, the men and women willing to fight for the Constitution. He wrote this in '89.
Wow.
And now you see what's happening now. You know what I mean? And that's
Crazy.
you know, that's what's happening right now. So, you know, once that happened, and not even gonna lie, I didn't know who to vote for in 2016. So I reverted back to my my Democratic ways, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna vote for war with Russia. Right? That's how I kept saying. I was like, do I vote for war with Russia, or do I vote for a nigga that don't know any?
20.
Huh?
You're saying 16 or 20?
2016.
Oh, 16.
I'm like, do I vote for a war with Russia, or do I vote for a dude that's just talking out his ass? Because I'm like, he ain't got no plan. I like, he just talking to talk. So I voted for Hillary reluctantly, and then I'm happy she didn't win, honestly. So then I started seeing stuff. So I still didn't believe in Trump at the time. So the thing that got me on board with him is CNN said that he had made a Black History Month speech about himself, talking about himself, right? I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. So I went to look for it, right? But everything I kept finding was jump cuts. But no, I want to see it in context. So I went to C-SPAN, because you know C-SPAN, they don't fucking cut shit. This is what it is, right? So I go to C-SPAN, watch. It's a 12-minute video. He's sitting around a table with 12 Black leaders from like different cities. And what was happening was they were saying, hey, this is why we supported you. This is how we're trying to work with you. And he was responding in kind, right? But what CNN did was cut them out and just piece together him responding to them in kind and made it sound like a speech about him.
Right.
Like, damn, that's disingenuous. So then I started going back and I started looking at stuff. So I started watching some of his what's it called? His rallies. So I wanted to see some of the stuff they were talking about in the rallies, and I'm like, okay. So it was one where I think he was at the Republican National Convention. And he was waving the gay flag like it was the last lap at the Daytona 500, right?
Was it?
Yeah. So he was waving it, and he basically kind of chastised Republicans for not being open-minded enough to allow gay marriage in their state. I'm like, huh. But that's kind of different from what they were saying on the news. Mm-hmm. And I kept researching. I'm like, man, this dude ain't who they said he was. So
You know what's crazy about that really quick? Like, well, you're an 80s baby, right?
yeah.
So am I. And like, even like pop culture wise, like people loved Trump.
Yeah.
Like coming. So I thought it was weird how when he became president, because I kind of fell for it too. I'm not going to lie to you. And it was just weird to see that shift. And that's what kind of got me to thinking, like, that's when I really like got into politics, because I kind of started getting to like when Trayvon Martin got killed.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started paying attention. And then with Trump, and I started wondering, why do they so bad want this not to be? You know, I started wondering, like, what is it about this guy that they just don't want?
Right.
But yeah, sorry, not to interrupt.
No,
but
you're
that's
fine. So I started paying attention to him more. So then I really started paying attention to what he was signing in the law and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, he hitting the ground running. Okay. You know, the tax cuts. Everybody was demonizing the tax cuts. Oh, he helping his friends. I'm like, but he also helping 91% of the lower middle class. You know, and I'm sitting there like, people get mad. I'm like, well, yo, you going to Dubai, yo? Unless Dubai is some cheap tickets, you must be making some money right now. You got some real money back in your taxes. You know, a friend of mine, I remember she was like, yo, I just got 16 stacks back. I'm like, damn, like what? Like, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah. I was like, you better go thank Trump. Oh, Trump ain't do it. I said, yo, he gave you more money back. You know what I mean? And then also, you know, that following year with the tax cuts, where, you know, what he did was he gave you more money back in your check. You know what I mean? I was like, I was for that. You know, then he commuted the sentence of I forgot her name. Lady that did.
Toya.
Is that, what was her name?
No. What's the older black woman?
The older black woman. Yeah, I forgot her name.
Too, yeah.
So he commuted her sentence, right? And then what else? The opportunity zones. It was different things I was watching. You know, then the First Step Act. I'm like, yo, he did more for America and black people did than the Democrats have done in the last 50 years. They promised us. You know, he did everything they promised in 4 years. that they've been promising for 50.
David Cannon, they didn't like the mean tweets though.
Oh yeah, them mean tweets, you know. And like I became a Trump apologist at a certain point where I wasn't trying to be. I'm like, because I'm thinking like, all right, if I can show you this shit didn't happen or he didn't say this shit, can we get past this and let's talk about the substance?
Right.
But when we would get to that, people couldn't deal, and they'd just be either, oh, you're a conspiracy theory, blah blah blah. So I'm like, all right, whatever. You guys are just lost. But
I want to be honest with you. I was late. I was late. But I've always so I've always had these ideologies, but I never knew what to call them. I wasn't into politics. I was in the Air Force until 2013. So for me, it was just I was voting for my own little selfish reasons at the time. Like whoever was cool pro military, I was fine. I was good. Whatever. But I started. I was afraid to completely walk away for the longest time.
yeah, I
was afraid but I've always had conservative values, just naturally who I am. But I didn't know it was called that. Especially like being from Washington State, it's very Western Washington is very liberal. Eastern Washington's conservative. But I had my friends would tell me like, "Baby, you're conservative." I was like, "Am I?" I thought that was a bad word being from here. And then as you get older, you start to realize like liberals are not this utopia that they're trying to create. And I hate talking. I don't want to be on people, the right, the left, but it's kind of true. Like they're not. They want this unattainable utopia, and it's like it's messing the country up.
Yeah,
it's bad. Everything goes. If something doesn't make you feel good, then you got to get rid of that. It's like, and this is ruining the country for real. It's really. I'm to the point where I wish it was split into two. I just can't believe this is real life.
You sound like my man Eric July. It's time for a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Colonel. We Hotepitarian over here. I like that, yo. I'm Hotepitarian. I like that. Jawaria Judah. Heard the dollar about to crash. I still haven't heard back from my Jabari Land Connect for confirmation. As soon as I know, I'll let y'all. As soon as I know, y'all know. I appreciate you, Jabari. So when we talk about the chosen people, or people with the hats, with the tiny little hat, we call them Jabari's people.
Oh.
Right. So that's our way of saying it without getting flagged.
I was gonna ask you too. Because I grew up hearing Hotep as like a little a joke and like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what it was.
So
because I hearing shows, you Hotep my brother, but I never really knew like what exactly it was.
So Hotep means to be at peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
At one. And then at some point in like the early 90s or whatever, it became like a pejorative. They started using it to make fun of people that might have been quote unquote like how we are now, truthers. You know what I mean? Right. So that was that weird, like, I guess insult. It was just an insult. That's what it was, right? So with Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep, those dudes, Shaka Atmos, trying to make it we want to make it a positive again. We're trying to bring pride back to the word, nobility. And we've been pretty successful doing it, because now people are starting to slowly but surely come back around like, yo, nah, these Hoteps know what they talking about. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, in the early 90s, in the 90s, early 2000s, they were using it as a pejorative to make fun of people who had like, what they would call conspiracy theories or a take that wasn't the mainstream.
Right.
So, but we taking it back, and we starting to get our the notoriety and stuff like that, and people are starting to realize that we the real deal out here, and we ain't just out here talking out our ass. We got our receipts. We making sense.
Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder, like right now, with people who have mindsets like yours, or like, what do you think they're afraid of, or why do they look at it? Do you think as a bad thing?
The word Hotep,
or just what it, or just when you're not, let's say, your typical, just like I said, I don't want to keep talking about like Democrat, left, right, but you know what I mean. Like, just when you just take things as they come, you don't toe a line. Yeah, you don't. Or even just what's going on now, the climate. Like, what do you think's behind that? Like, why? Why do you think they want to create this like division or let everything go? Because I've been kind of trying to figure that out as well lately. Like, what is it and why? Because I just think I'm a really deep thinker. And I'm thinking like, what's behind all of it? Like, what's the gain to take away? Let's say, for example, like this conversation, like gender roles or the definition of a man or a woman, or just things like that.
I think it's just this order through chaos. It's Hegelian dialectic, Hegelian dialect, where it's just basically order through chaos. It's easier to take over a country or people if you can divide them. You know what I mean? You turn one sect against the other. You use the one that you turned against the other to help you take over that said area. And then you can have, you can change your rules and your laws as you see fit on, and that's what we're seeing now. We see it happening, that's my long and short of it. Is just that they want to create division and chaos just so they can easily pass their laws and stuff like that they want,
Right.
And
why do you think they want the babies to learn about whoopee before they're 2? Like, what is that?
because they're trying to change that whole dot, like what we're talking about now, what we learned in school. Remember a kindergarten cop? Men have a penis, girls have a vagina. Like they want to change that as early as possible so that it makes it easier, them growing up to indoctrinate them, and
Which is scary too, because to be honest with you, I thought about this, like, because you saw my tweet about, like, I think it's so weird that there's people like rallying in the street to teach kindergarten and 3rd graders about sex of any sort, right?
right.
But it's kind of like, think who's in those crowds, because it's not parents. If you really think about that, and to me, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, who are you people? Why do you guys care so bad if kindergartners to 3rd grade children that don't even belong to you learn about this type of stuff? That's weird to me. Like, they're not saying don't talk about it, don't teach it. They're just saying let parents teach their children that at home when they're ready to teach them when they're that age. That's all it's saying. And it's so odd to me that there's like resistance to that. Like, who are you guys to tell parents when their children should learn about such things?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's very weird, especially when they're 5, like you're 5 years old, 8 years old, and you want to teach these kids. Like California, I remember before Amazing Lucas went crazy. I still think he just trolling, but
What happened to him?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if he trolling. I don't know if he for real sometimes. He's, but he did a video where he showed a kind of like video where they were trying to teach kids that it was okay to touch themselves, and it feels good.
Oh, Lord.
Rubbing special places and shit. And I'm like, wait, what? They kindergarten. This was in kindergarten. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, and then you have drag story hour, drag queen story hour. Where, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of people that was a part of that were like sex offenders. You know what I mean? And they, like I said, this all I can think of is that the reason why is that they want to indoctrinate the kids early. It makes it easier because they're impressionable at that point. They're sponges. They're going to soak it up. They're going to soak up all that propaganda. They're going to soak up all that jargon and all those pronouns and this and that. And then it's easier to teach them at that age versus trying to convince a kid in college or a kid in high school that that's what this is, or this is what we want it to be, And
it's so weird because that same and I don't want to I don't want the narrative to be that, because I'm fine with the LGBT community as far as your personal choice and what you want to do. It's the only when you want to take rights from others that I have an issue with it.
Facts.
But my issue with this is the irony that they'll say, for example, if someone has a problem with, let's say, homosexual relationships in cartoons, for example, right? They'll say, well, why do you care that your child sees this? When I was young, like, this is a homosexual person. When I was young, no one told me to like boys. I just knew that I liked other men. So that's kind of like, why don't you then use that same logic to, you don't need to teach these children that, because again, if you think it's so natural and you think you're born it, if they're gay, they'll be gay.
I agree with you.
I mean, but it's like they don't use the same logic or the same argument. It's like, if you say it's natural and you say that you didn't have a choice, then they'll be gay. You don't have to force it. Any type of sexuality, by the way. I don't think children should see anybody kissing in the cartoon, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, no, you want for some reason impressions on the children. I have no idea as to why. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Brian Dodson, I'm a conservative Democrat. I believe in the DP for white collar crime. Oh gosh. Maticus, Behold a Pale Horse audiobook is on YouTube. Yeah, it is, but it's missing some chapters, bro. I don't like they took a few chapters out of that book. I had listened to it one day. I was like, wait, this is missing some stuff. But you know, for people who can't find the book, it's not a bad listen. Go ahead, check it out. You know what I mean?
But one thing we do need to do as women, just getting back to it, I watched a video of Amazing Lucas actually, but now that's funny you brought him up. He's right. If they're getting in the pool, then why should we have a problem with it? If they don't have a problem with it, if they're getting in the pool, let them swim.
Yeah, I agree.
They're the only ones that's gonna be able to stop it. Women are gonna be the only ones to stop it, but women are the reason why this came to be, like you said earlier.
Yeah, I mean he's right. You know that in that aspect, when I saw the same video. You know, yeah. I mean, I guess the move would have been like, "Yo, I'm not racing."
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not racing. If they all would have took a stand, it would have made a bigger impact. You know, I think they were probably afraid to lose their scholarship or whatever. You know, or whatever.
Hey, it's good. What good is the scholarship if you can't even win?
That is true. You know, because
school.
Yeah.
No.
Right, and I mean, they had the girl. What's it, Rika, the one that I read the story yesterday. You know, she got bumped out of there, like, and you know that's sad because it's like this girl worked her entire life to get there. You know what I mean? And to only be bumped out by somebody that shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know?
Right.
And like you said, if you can be what you want to be, I'm not, you know, bigot or I'm not homophobic or none of that stuff. Like, if you want to be, if you think you're a female, okay. If you think you're a male, okay. You know, but you know, act accordingly as far as, you know, when it comes to sports and stuff like that. Like, you have an advantage, you know, especially for, you know, men transitioning to women. You have an advantage, and you know you have an advantage. You know what I mean? I refuse to sit here and believe that you don't realize that you have a physical advantage over women. I think you know you do, and you want to capitalize on it, and you know that society is going to allow you to. You know, because like Caitlyn Jenner said, like, you know, it's less, you know, Leah's fault and more the NCAA for allowing it, for not having stringent rules against it. You know,
and Caitlyn said that too, because that shows you it's people are conflating the issues, and it's separate. You can completely be fine with transgenders living amongst them, fine, that's their choice, and also know that it's wrong. But I just don't like that people feel like because you think an action of a human's wrong, that means you don't like the human. No, it's just the fact that it's just objectively wrong.
Right.
And people want to add these feelings to so many things these days. And like I said, that's scary. Now, a couple years, like I said, 2 + 2 will not be 4, and I'll be able to identify as an Asian woman. You'll be able to identify as, I don't know.
Right, a fucking Mack truck.
Right. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's really.
DMW, what's up, bro? What's up? Welcome. But I agree. You know what I mean? It's you know, you got to set these rules, but they don't want to. You know, they want to sow this division. They want it to happen. You know, there's no noble cause for this at all. There's nothing noble about it, in my opinion. You know,
right.
And like New World Friggin' Order says, you know, y'all got to take over the narrative and control it. You know, women got to band together and, you know, and stand up against this, you know, not a, you know, like against what they're trying to do. Like I said, if you think you're a woman, okay, cool, go for it. But to try to invade and take over the women's space, the women's, you know, job, for lack of a better term, like that's just overstepping your abilities and your bounds. Like, this, you know, the women, you know, are a beautiful thing. You know, you guys can do shit that we can't. Like my man P Dog Knight said today, y'all push babies out of tiny hole. You know what I mean? You know,
and not only, let me tell you something, Ken. Okay, I come from a species. That's what I call it. Look, we go through stuff. I don't even know why I'm mad sometimes, because just hormones. There's things that we just go through. You know, you have to go through the embarrassing, you know, middle school days when you don't know what's going on with your body. Like, those are things. Those are stripes. I feel like, and I feel like I should be able to say it. Those are stripes you earned. And this is not to say that you can't identify with what you feel, but I'm just saying you can't come into this space and tell me that I'm now not a woman, but I'm a person that gives birth, or I'm a bleeder. Like, you're not about to come here and tell me, or I'm cis. I don't know who cis is, what it is, why. I don't. You're not gonna tell me what I am because now you want to come into my space to make yourself feel comfortable, and then now I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
Or
Right.
now we have to give you rights. I have to tiptoe around your feelings, and I can't tell you how I feel as I'm a woman. And that's another issue. I don't like to say, okay, I'm a man, I'm a woman now too, but it's like, but you're talking to women like we're not the same as you, but then you say you're one of them. It's weird.
Right. It's almost like they're holding them to a higher standard than you guys. They're putting.
And they're less than 1% of the population. That's another wild thing to me. We are changing everything for less than 1% of the population. We're changing language for less than 1% of the population. Feelings have become so just everything that we are just losing our damn minds.
Yeah, like, I mean, as far as the sports are concerned, just create a whole nother fucking division and call it a day.
Because if that's the case, at the end of the day, what was the whole point of splitting the two? Because of how we felt? That's not, no.
Right.
There's one out there who were, there was a video I saw not too long ago. It was like a 6th grader that happened to be tall as hell, a female, and could dunk amongst other little girls. And she was playing with other 12-year-olds because she was 12.
Right.
And you know, it's just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, Brittany Griner, I found out she was 6'9". I was like, holy shit.
Tall as shit.
Right. But
and she got her boobs removed.
Huh?
She got her boobs removed and still plays with women.
That's right. And the thing about it is, like, do you think Brittany Griner can hold a candle to LeBron?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but send LeBron over there to the WNBA. He's gonna be fucking 360 dunking and, you know what I mean, off the backboard. You know, it's a bunch of like that. Would, you know, it's not fair. You know, create a whole nother division if that's what y'all really want. You want to, like I said yesterday, create a whole nother division. You can find out who's the best of the worst. You know what I mean?
I'm wondering what it's going to take to, because now I'm wondering, like, is it too late? And because I'm wondering what it's going to take, because I mean, it's been little micro things this whole time. Like, okay, for example, something that probably nobody would ever notice. For example, okay, let's say a tampon, right?
Right.
They took the woman symbol off of them to make transgendered women feel better because, quote, not all women have periods, and not all women have periods, and everybody that has a period isn't a woman. So to make less than 1% of the population feel better, you've now taken the woman symbol off of a tampon. That's the type of stuff I'm thinking about. I'm like, what? That's just weird. It's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah. New World freaking order. Exactly. They should make their own league. Facts.
Yeah, they should.
You know what I mean? BMW, that's even crazier. Less than 1% of the population changing all types of rules. Facts. You know what I mean? Steph Colonel, the undermining of women brought to you by fellow women. Facts. That's another thing. You know, you got women that's on board with this, and I can't understand why. It's like they're gonna replace you soon. Well,
because they're looking at it as, like I keep saying, like it's like they're looking at just two things. Like they have the right to, you know, they are a woman. They want to affirm that. Like I said, if that's what you guys want to think, that's what you want to think. I don't even want to get into that. What I'm saying is, every time you bring up to them, well, they're biologically a man, they have a biological advantage, but they'll always repeat it. But they're a woman, and they should be able to play with women. And it's just stupid. And these idiots are serious too.
Right.
Like, I've seen them. They believe it. Like they're being indoctrinated very young, and that's why I talk to my son all the time. I talk to him about what he learned in school that day, and if they're teaching him anything. For example, back in Black History Month, I had to email the school and go up there because they played Billie Holiday's "Strange Fruit"
really
to them. I don't know if you ever heard those lyrics of that song.
I know Kanye sampled it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Livid. I was like, that's not the type of song. First of all, he's in 4th grade. That's not a song you play for children. 2, Black History Month's not a time to talk about that type of stuff. It's like about the uplifting and the celebration of our achievements and accomplishments. I don't like Black History Month. That's just another story. But I'm not saying I don't like it. But that's not a time to be damn. My son's sitting in the class. Thankfully, I instill in him the things I instill in him. But what if I didn't? Then you have this boy sitting there talking about black bodies swinging from trees and like, what the hell is that
Blood
about?
on the
like,
leaves and
yeah, smell of flesh and what the hell? And I called up there, and they're like, I was like, well, why? You know, I was like, what was the thought process? I was like, what was the end game? Like, what were they supposed to take away from that song as fourth graders? And they were saying that they wanted to show how Black women protest through song across the generations. They had planned in with Beyonce, and I was like, well, I said, well, did you ever make it to Beyonce?
Right. How about Get Up, Stand Up for Your Right for fucking Bob Marley or something, or Be Real Black for Me from Roberta Flack and what's his name? Damn it, I can't think of his name. I feel sad. I feel bad about that. But like, there's other songs you can do that with.
Oh, a whole bunch.
You know, Nina Simone, I Will Be Free. Like, there's other songs you could do that with. You pick Blood on the Leaves.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I sent the lyrics. I said, you felt like this was appropriate for fourth graders and without the permission of people's parents. Because what if no one of them children ever even knew her? You know, it's just, I don't know.
But that's what they want next. They want the kids to have self-autonomy. Look at the quote-unquote Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. Right. That's not what that is. It only had that term in the whole bill. That was what they had to write that bill so parents had say over what their kids learned in school.
Which they should.
Yeah, exactly. They should. And I said in one of my streams, I was like, yo, for sex education, my father had to sign a permission slip.
Same.
You know what I mean? So what's different? There's nothing different there. It's just that, you know, there's going to be more backlash from certain parents, you know, because look how they're treating CRT. You know what I mean?
Don't get me started on CRT.
You got them parents in Florida Virginia, they like, hell no, you know, and they feel like that's going to happen, but they want the kids to have, you know, the say so, just like they wanted the kids to have the say so for getting the yammine, you know, the jabby, the round trip, you know. Ooh. You know, that's they want the kids to make that own decision. I think they try to pass that law in California. You know,
and that's another thing too. Like, if you really think about it too, it is an attack on children because it's like, one, why, and two, why do you feel like it's your job and your place? You're supposed to be teaching my son math, social studies, history. You don't need to talk to my son about sexuality and race. I mean, of course, we're gonna have to talk about slavery, you know, the Civil War, whatever. But I'm like, that's not your place to teach him that he's innately going to have a different life because the color of his skin, and that this color is going to have a better. Yeah. I don't teach him that.
Right.
Or whatever you teach your child. It's not your job.
Yeah.
And that's the issue I have with that. And the same with sexuality. My son knows my brother's gay. His uncle's gay. So my son knows about that. And he kind of really doesn't even know that really. I don't feel like we have to sit and talk to him about that. If he asks, he sees, I don't know. I just feel like enough of this production anymore. Like, you guys aren't special or equal.
Right. Like, you know, my favorite aunt in the whole wide world, gay. You know, She came out like, I guess like 18, 19 or whatever, back in the 90s, like when that shit wasn't even tolerated by parents. You know what I mean? And she'd tell you, you know, yo, if I'm in this shit, I'm calling Cannon. He coming. You know, there's been times like, hey, yo, somebody sliced my tires up. I'm on my way. You know what I mean? Because she'll tell you, she like, yo, my nephew, I know he don't agree with my lifestyle, but he loves me and he respect me.
Right. That's all we owe, I feel like, is respect.
That's it.
And the funny thing is, to tell you the truth, my brother's not even into all this like that. Like, he's just like, I'm a dude that likes dudes. He's not into all this business. Like, no, because it's like, it's such a contradiction, the message. Like, if you want to be equal, but we don't need to make a production out of your lifestyle. You are what you are. If you feel like it's natural norm, then be normal. Just be. We don't need to move mountains for y'all or watch our language or our steps. Or I don't feel like I have to do that. Right. I just feel like I have to respect you. That's it. I don't have to treat you special.
No, yeah. I don't gotta tiptoe and walk on eggshells for you. Yeah. You know, like that's what you think you are. Go for it. It don't affect me none. You know, but
don't get me started when they compare it to being black. That makes me so mad.
I wait for them to compare it to Jabari's people. What they went through. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. You know, lost the prophet. Bro, the first real sex ed class I had was in high school. The sex ed stuff was never talked about throughout elementary and middle school. That's facts. Ninth grade is when I had mine.
Yeah, I had mine We did watch, I think it was The Miracle of Birth or Miracle of Life, I think in middle school we watched that. But you had to get a permission slip signed to watch that. It was a woman having a baby.
You know, my real sex talk was. So I got to high school, right? I was a star football player. I got abs and shit, right? And my cousin Brian, which is who he in the chat right now, he thought I was about to get out of control, right? Because I'm getting all this attention and shit, right? He sits me down in his basement and makes me watch Kids.
Oh my gosh.
He sits me in the basement. This is like, I forget, B, if you still in the chat, it was like 2 a.m, y'all. I'm like a freshman or a sophomore. I can't remember. He made me sit in his basement and watch Kids because he thought I was about to get out of control, right? And I watched Kids, and that shit scared me so fucking bad. I ain't want to talk to nothing.
That was scary.
I was like, what? Whoa. I was like,
They were bad. You know, throwing around the package, right?
Boy.
That movie, they were
throwing around the package. They was throwing around that Home in Virginia. That Green Mile.
That was so unfortunate, that little girl, though.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Ugh,
That was our first time, right? And I think it was her first time, and she got that shit.
Can you imagine?
Man.
Ooh, I remember I used to be so scared of that too. Remember what's his name? It's like the something white story. Remember the little boy who had it in school because he got it at birth?
I don't remember that.
Something white story. He had it. Let me see. You can Google everything. Brian White.
Atticus. Kids was crazy. Hell yeah, that shit was crazy.
But no, you know, like I keep saying, you have to these days, Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Transgenders, be you. You only get one life.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. But don't go and try to like push out what you claim. I'm sorry, let me watch my words. What you are. If you're a woman, then you should understand.
Right.
That's just, I mean, I don't even get into that because I believe in God. So that's the reason why I have my thoughts about it.
Yeah.
I just like, so I don't even like talking, but I'm just saying.
I'm right there with you. Look,
Like
anybody that's transgender watching this, look.
mm-hmm.
Do I agree with it? No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Right.
However, I respect your decision. Do what you want to do, but just understand there's some limitations to that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you can't, a biological male can't push a baby out his pee hole. You shouldn't be able to compete with women in physical sports. Now, if you want to fucking sit down with a woman and fucking have a chess match, go for that shit. You want to play a woman in Madden or 2K? Go for that shit. Double Dutch? Go for that shit. You know what I mean? For something like contact sports or real physical sports where it takes some athletic ability, track, swimming, football, you name it. You don't want to see fucking Michael Strahan call herself Michelle and join the fucking women's football league and start laying women out. Understand there's some limitations, and I think you guys know that. I think you all know that. I think you just take advantage of the situation at hand because society allows you to take advantage of that situation. Just be more mindful of your biological women counterparts and vice versa. Women transitioning to men, be mindful of your biological male counterparts and the disadvantages that you may present to them just by you being in their space. If that makes sense.
Notice when women transition to male, they're not barging into that space. You don't really hear anything.
No.
And it's so interesting. You don't really hear about anything getting shooken up. You don't really. So most of the time, you can't even tell for the most part. And that's why I think it's so interesting the other way around. And that's the reason why I feel like it's almost like a bullying to me, like a bombarding, because it's kind of like you're telling us you're trans. And that's another issue. I thought the whole point of it was that you don't subscribe to it. That's the part that's so confusing to me. Like if you don't feel that the body has to be what you feel and blah, 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 then why do you then take on the look of a biological woman if you don't believe in those, you don't believe in gender? You know what I'm saying? Like, Why do you take on the societal norms or the heteronormative, whatever they say, child?
Yeah. I lose fucking count of all these different terms that they use. And
that's the part I don't get. It's like two things coming out the same head. Like it's like And then why do we need to know? Why is it announced that if you want to live as a woman, you feel you're a woman. Be a woman and just exist. Why does it announce? Why do we always have to know? Why do we go through all these emotions?
Right.
And that's kind of...
Unless you meet a biological male, make sure you fucking tell him before he find out some shit he don't want to find out.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, you would think it would be more private. Like,
Right.
hey,
Right.
it was intimate setting or, you know, but it's like I'm, you know, and I'm coming in here and, you know, I've taken what belongs to me or what I deserve, and
Right.
fuck you.
That's another one of those norms they're trying to make. Like, why do we need to tell you? You fucking need to tell us.
Oh,
you keep wondering why these trans women keep getting murked. Because most of the time they ain't telling these niggas that they used to be men. You know what I mean?
And the fact that they don't think they have to. That's scary.
That's a very scary thing. Just like in California, you ain't got to tell nobody you got that home in Virginia.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Scary. I like that.
Mm-hmm. That's scarier than kids, I'll tell you that much.
Oof. That's scary. You give something you can't get back?
Yeah. Yeah, and you ain't got to tell nobody about it, and you're not held responsible. That's the crazy shit. Anyway.
And I say, but I thank you for having me on, okay?
No, I appreciate it. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
I mean, right now I just have an Instagram. Like I told you before we got on, I'm starting a YouTube soon. Trying to kind of figure out my niche. And then I like to, when I do commit to something, I like to do with everything I have. So I don't want to start before I'm ready to, you know, go full throttle. I be having thoughts all the time, Cannon. But it's like, I don't want to like just blurt them out without, I like to try to watch how I say stuff these days.
No, I understand that. Like I
started the same way you said. Like I used to rant on Snapchat all the time. People tell me, "Oh, you should start like a podcast or something." Because I'm kind of funny too, so people say. So that's when I started podcasting. So I podded for a while from like 16 to like last year, and then I thought, let me YouTube.
But yeah, go for it. Like I told you before we started, like I just started ranting into my phone on Twitter. You know, and I started to develop a following on Twitter. And then a few months later, I was like, all right, let me start this YouTube channel. And then that's what I was started. Then I started, and I'm gradually growing. I'm starting to get a lot, you know, starting to get bigger. And these wonderful people you're talking to right now, they've been with me from day one, you know, and I appreciate them. You know what I mean? You know, and the comment section is always fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you know, so what was the thing before we get out of here, I suppose, like what was your most passionate thing that you started ranting about? Like what was the main?
I think the one that I had that actually took off was Joe Biden. Let me see if I can find it. I'll play it while we're here for right now. Give me a second. So Joe Biden had said he wasn't coming for certain guns or whatever. He wasn't coming for guns, and then he turned around and then he straight up came for everybody's guns. Let me see if I can't find that real quick.
Bump stocks or the?
No, this was I forgot what it was. I want to say it was like everything, AR-15s, everything. Let me see if I can't find it. This one. I got so much shit on my Twitter. Let me see if I can't find it. I'm sure I can pull it up.
Like the idea of like, why do you need AR-15s? Well, do you guys see now what's going on in Ukraine? And
right.
They had AR-15s. Think about the military.
To what part of?
Were you?
What branch of military you was in?
Air Force.
You was there? Oh, you smart. You was.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I wasn't in the military or anything like that. You know, I respect the hell out of them, but I wasn't in the military.
Guns.
Huh?
You just like guns.
Yeah, I got into it about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And I love shooting. I love building them. Stuff like that. I got a buddy, one of my best friends, you know, me and him, we go out shooting. He the one that taught me how to build. He was a Marine. And right now he do law enforcement in one of the counties here in Maryland. But yeah, I'm just an avid gun enthusiast. I also hunt. So like, for example, I'm about to go to California in April, and I'm going turkey hunting out there. So I'll take my bow. So I also shoot bow and arrow.
Wow.
Yeah. So what happened was this was around the time of the 2016 election. It's probably about more like 2015. And we heard Hillary's war cry with Russia, and yeah, people talking about, yo, she get in office, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, be mindful of this, be mindful of that. So I was sitting in my dad's office, and I'm like, Dad, like, let's just say this shit do go down. We can't feed ourselves. We can't defend ourselves. We can't do none of that. So he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we don't have any guns. You know, we don't have any food stores. I was like, yeah, I mean, we can fight, but that ain't gonna get us but so far. So I think one day we sit in his office and he heard something that it kind of alarmed him, and he just got up one day. He was like, all right, let's go. I said, where we going? He said, we're going down the street to the gun store. And we both bought AR-15. So that's my very first gun right there.
Dang, you started big.
Yeah, so that was my very first gun. I didn't realize I posted so much on Twitter. Holy shit. But yeah, that's coming up though. I see it's coming up soon. But yeah, so do you shoot? You do anything?
You know, it's funny. I was gonna tell you, I'm actually kind of afraid of guns.
What?
Yeah, my biggest fear in the world is like to be like, because I was in the legal field in the military, so I've seen the craziest situations. So my biggest fear is to like legitimately like be defending myself and be like found guilty of murder or some shit.
Oh shit.
Kind of like what happened to who was that? Who was that case that was big? I can't remember, but anyway, yeah, just like that type of situation. It's kind of scary. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they do say that the fight does begin after the shooting. Right. You know, you just got to know your laws of your state and just know that you're in the right. My dad likes to call it shooter nigga insurance. So I have USCCA insurance. So yeah, so it covers me and everybody in my house just in case something goes down. They advise you to say, you know, if it does happen, call the police. Someone's been shot, send the ambulance. But once police get there, call the number. Also, let them know, and don't say nothing until your lawyer get there. Don't say anything. So I found the video right here. So we're gonna go over. Let me do this real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Hopefully this doesn't. Let me see this right there. All right, let me pull up my. All right, cool. So I'm gonna share this with you real fast. Where am I? Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna take everybody else over there. So I gotta minimize you. There we go. Oh. All right, so let me mute this music real quick. So I have a monotone voice, so I use music a lot to kind of. All right, there we go. So this was one of the. So you see, I got 17,000 views on this video. This is one of the first. So this was February 5th. This is when I really first started going at it. So here we go. You cut everybody else over there. There we go.
Biden to save America, huh? Now you're coming after all. Biden to save America, huh?
I can't hear it.
Now you're coming after all the guns, and now you shook. Hotep's been told you.
Can you hear it?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying.
Let me see. Hold on, guys. That sucks. Why can't you hear it?
Biden.
Let me see. Let's see. Why I can't? Why you can't hear it? Oh, my bad. There we go. All right, cool. So can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I don't know why I turned this off.
Biden to save America, huh? Now you're coming after all the guns, and now you shook. Hotep's been told you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
So Biden put out a statement yesterday saying he's implementing background checks on all gun sales, as well as an assault weapons ban. Thing is, we already got that. This is just another gun grab by the Democrats and the liberals. The thing is, now they got the muscle and the money to do so. They got the House, the Senate, and the presidency. But Cannon, they'll never come after all the guns. Too many people got them. Yeah, all right. But Cannon, if people write their congressperson, then they can stop it. They don't care about you. They care about getting their agenda done. And their agenda ain't in your best interest. So what they trying to do is leave you defenseless while the police and the bad guys got the monopoly on power. I live in Baltimore City with some of the strictest gun laws in the United States. You see how well that's working out for us, right? I'm strapped every day and I keep a vest in my truck just in case somebody want to try it. See, the thing is, the law-abiding citizens ain't what you got to worry about. It's the bad guys. It's the criminals. And you think a criminal gonna follow a gun law? You think a criminal gonna do a background check when you need to get a gun? You just leaving the law-abiding citizens defenseless. The way I see it is, if the police can have it, I should be able to have it too. If the military can have it, I should be able to have it too. What y'all think gonna happen when they get the Second Amendment out the paint? You might as well throw the whole Constitution in the trash. Then you got some people talking about, well, black people helped save America and help get him elected, so he should vote for what's in our best interest. First off, black people did not get him in office. Secondly, he don't care about you. Once they grab all the guns, they can do whatever they want. A registry is not what we need. The minute you got a gun registry, now they know who got everything. So when they go, let's just go take them all now they know where they at. Now they know where they gotta come get them. But everything I'm saying right now has been said forever. I just hope y'all niggas is happy.
So that was one of my very first videos.
Hey. You knew that one was gonna go, huh? You had it all together and looking all nice.
Oh no, that literally I was talking and then I was working and then I would just pick the phone back up and say some shit and then I finished doing something, I pick it back up and I just started clipping it all of the shit together and I made a video out of it. And then I think Phoenix Ammunition picked it up and it just ran after that. And then I started getting more of a following over it. So, but
yours happened pretty quick. I know some people, they go years before, that first,
Yeah, every day I was posting a video on Twitter. I was like, all right, shit, I gotta keep it at 220 because at the time Twitter only give you 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So I was like, all right, I'll keep all these videos at 220. And I got a monotone voice, so I keep music behind it just to keep people's interest. So I'm trying to get better with that.
I want to say it's monotone.
Robert Banks, after a self-defense incident, never talk to the cops. Ask for medical assistance and your lawyer. Tell them that you're having a heart attack, even if you're 100% in the right. They're not your friend. Let's see. March next Manhunter. Hands are pictured just like Jesus' hands. Always with one hand up and one hand down along with the... Oh, you talking about Baphomet. I got you. You must be responding to somebody else. I'll not let black people live down saying we saved America. They was saying that shit for like the first couple of months and then they immediately started having that buyer's remorse. Like I said in one of my videos, I was like, he rickrolled the shit out of everybody.
And it's so quiet.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys make sure you go follow Bailey on Twitter and just be on the lookout. Her YouTube channel, she should be starting it soon, I hope. Hope she find her niche and go for it.
Yeah, I gotta find it. I can't just come out all willy-nilly,
No, I understand. I feel you. You gotta have it all planned out and all that other good stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
I feel you.
I appreciate you for having me. Seriously, though. It was fun.
No problem at all. We gotta have you back on the show. So, anyway, guys, it's getting late. It is almost 10 o'clock, and I got an early day tomorrow. So, this is Cannon Hotep saying, stay blessed, stay well, and stay strapped. Look out for the Adam's apple. I'll holler at y'all.